Okay, welcome to PD in Your Pocket, and this is Donna. So Donna, tell me a bit about yourself and your service.
So thank you for coming, thank you for having me. I've been doing family daycare for probably about 15 years.
So tonight's session is about AI and the use of AI. So I wonder if you'd like to share your journey with AI. So how did you feel about it when you first started using it? How do you feel now? And how did you become comfortable with it?
So I was really struggling, and then my friend, who is a school teacher, said to me, "You don't need to put yourself through this. Like, you don't need to do this to yourself. Have you tried using an AI program?" And I was like, what's an AI program? Who does that?
Yeah.
And she said, "Look, just try this out, see how you go. Watch a child type in an observation. Make sure you say to AI, write observation, write reflection, write follow-up, and see how you go." And then all of a sudden, all this language just came to me, like the words that I could use. I was stuck for words.
Mm-hmm.
I needed help, and I have to say, it's changed my whole outlook on my job.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about the sheep.
That's okay.
It's changed my whole outlook on my job. I really am 100% happy now with what I'm doing, as before I hit rock bottom and I just couldn't keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so what made you become comfortable with using AI? Was it just that trial and error, that having a go?
It was definitely trial and error. There was a lot of things that it took me a long time to work things out, which is, it's a process with everything, working things out, seeing out what program worked best for me, because I have tried a couple. The simplicity of use, because when you're trying to, like I said, take care of the kids, make sure everyone's happy, write your program, it's really, really hard to stop and think what you need to do. And it's just, so good. Like, I really enjoy it.
Yep, well, that's good. So can you explain how you use AI in your service? So for your planning, your documentation with children.
So I use AI, everyone will sit down, I'll take the photos of the children when I need to write an observation, so that when I have time for my programming and my observation, I can sit down and think, okay, the child said this, yes, this is what I've done, this is what I need to write, and then I just can put it in an AI program, type out exactly what I've done, and see, it comes up for you. It's not. For a while, I actually felt like I was cheating the system. I really thought, this isn't how it should be. I think I'm cheating the system. And then I thought, you know what? You're still doing the work. You're still putting the effort in. You're still trying as hard as you can. This is just a tool to make it easier.
Exactly, because you're the one that watches the children, takes the photo, takes the observation, types that observation in. It just works and fixes it up for you.
Yes, it's given me words to use. I was always stuck for words. To make things sound better, to make it more readable, user-friendly, and I've got words.
Would you say that you've gained confidence?
Absolutely.
I'm not even going to finish that question. Okay. So in terms of your documentation and things, so you use AI through Story Park, you said? Yeah. And so is that now all your documentation? So all your observations, your planning?
Everything that I do for family daycare as far as documentation goes is through Story Park. I started using Story Park at the start of the year, so that was a challenge in itself, was getting from one way of doing things to going to another way of doing things, and trying to learn how to use Story Park. That was difficult enough, and I struggled with that for a little while, but now I've got on top of it, and I can use it for everything. I can message the parents, email the parents, write myself notes into Story Park, so that if I see a child do an activity that they, a spontaneous activity that they think, oh, I really need to remember that. I'll write it down, and then I can put it into the program and plan for it.
Yep.
So,
yep, that's great. What benefits have you observed? And I think you've touched on some of the benefits of using AI within your service.
The improvement in my time management skills is one thing. Time management skills that was a thing for me. Now I have more time. I feel like I'm doing more work, but I feel like I have more time to do it. So I'm keeping on top of everything.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's really been a huge thing for me, was just being able to move to the next thing, and keep progressing through the day, and happy, because I was quite sad.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're happy and that AI has helped you be happy, and that's great. So do you think AI enhances the learning experiences for the children in your care?
Yeah. I feel like I've been able to take a lot of follow-up things in my program and use that to create ideas of, follow-up things. Craft activities, really came up with some interesting things that I'd never thought of trying before. And we all use Facebook, we all use Instagram, we all use Pinterest to get ideas of other things, but this was stuff that I'd never seen before.
What about in terms of children's developmental needs and their development? Does it help you in terms of children's development?
Yes, I have noticed that if I have a child, I do specifically have a child that sometimes there is concern, and I can quite easily type in, the age group developmental milestones, and it will come up with this massive list of things that age appropriate children need to do by that time. And I can sort of say, get the checklist going. Is this a thing? Is this a thing? Is this not happening? Is this happening? Should this be doing this? And that's really been a benefit too. And it takes me 2 minutes.
Yep.
It's so much quicker than going through books and books and books just to make sure that everything's right. Mm-hmm. So that's helped.
Yep. So if you have, as an example, something a child does and you think, that's a bit of a concern, can you just ask the question, hey AI,
absolutely,
this child is this age, this is a concern, is that a concern?
I've done it before, yeah.
Okay, great. And it comes back with all the answers, basically.
The answers. I mean, and you take from it what you need. You don't, it's not gospel, like you can't just follow it to a T. You have to change it to suit yourself, but it's definitely helped me with monitoring developmental milestones.
Beautiful, that's good. Okay, have you encountered any challenges or limitations with AI technology?
Yes, I have previously looked at things for, the kids have asked for pictures of certain things, and specifically they wanted a kookaburra in a gum tree. And it came back with this, I've never seen anything like it, it's definitely not a kookaburra. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen, but that in itself was funny because the kids, I showed it to them and I said, is this a kookaburra? And they're like, oh, I don't think so.
Yep.
So it does fail, but yeah, I've tried Bing, Microsoft Bing, and for pictures, and that's pretty good. Yep. It seems to work quite well.
Yep. So yeah, AI definitely has its limitations, and you do need to work with it. I like using it for getting it to design a picture when you give it several things. So like a female doing this, doing that, doing this, and it comes up with something and it sort of puts things together. And often it's not quite what you want, but it's an interesting. So how do you communicate your use of AI with parents?
So I briefly discussed AI with the parents, and the positive feedback has been really, really good. I thought maybe there could be a bit of an issue given the bad rap that AI has. You see on TV all the time, it's trying to rip you off. It's, people are trying to steal your money using AI, and that's what you see. That's all you hear. There are very few positive things that ever come out of AI. But having said that, the feedback that I've got from the parents has been quite positive, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. And what about with other educators? Do you talk to other educators about how they're using it and how you're using it and get ideas and support each other?
I do have an educator that I speak to, and her and I bounce ideas off each other and use it all the time. You know, we're really, really happy to have it as a tool in our service to help us. And I have spoken to other educators about it. The feedback hasn't been quite as positive, but I just think they probably don't know enough about it to have an opinion. So hopefully we can help them.
Yep, and by sharing your story and how it's helped you do more but also gain time and your confidence and things, that'll be a positive.
It's really helped me.
It has really helped you. So are there any specific guidelines or protocols that you follow?
With the program that I use, which is ChatGPT, I do constantly go through and delete what I've typed into the program, and it's only me that has access to the computer anyway, so no one else sees what I've written, but I do delete it. It's a memory thing, so it will just, if you don't delete it, it deletes itself, so you have to keep deleting it. But, you know, I mean, it's just like everything, it's a confidentiality issue, and it's only me that ever sees what I've written, so it's really, yeah.
Yeah. What specific training have you had to effectively use AI tools?
No specific training at all. It's just what I've worked out myself. So I think that anything that anyone could come up with help about AI training would be very useful. I would definitely be interested in learning more and better ways to use it and other ways to use it, you know, just to help us all.
Yep, definitely. And that's what part of tonight's PD in your pocket is all about, is, you know, using AI and some ideas and ways you can use AI. So what resources do you recommend for educators wanting to start using AI to help their program?
So the two main ones that I would use is Microsoft Bing Images. So it seems to, of all the image programs I've used, come up with the most detail and give you what you want. ChatGPT is so basic and so easy to use, and the free version is, in my opinion, as good as the version that you can pay for. But I just use the free version, and it's really good. That's probably the only two that I would suggest at this stage.
And I'm guessing that you'd probably suggest give it a go. Just type in one of your observations and see what it comes back with, and how it changes is the language, because often it doesn't actually change the content, it's just changing the words, rephrasing it to make it sound more professional. And you can actually rephrase it and ask it to rephrase it to explain to parents, and then, you know, more academically, or, you know, if you've written it, you know, explaining something to parents, then you think, oh, into my program I want to write it a bit more academically, rephrase this comment academically, and it does.
Yeah, it's very helpful, because when you're so busy and you're trying to keep up and you're so lost for words,
yep,
it really helps. Yeah,
yep.
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. So we've now covered that. So how has your perspective on education changed with the introduction to AI, or has your perspective of education?
A lot. I think my positivity now for my job has increased so much compared to how I was 6 months ago. I was absolutely lost, and yep. I really think that if I hadn't have discovered a tool to help me, I definitely probably wouldn't be doing this job right now, which makes me sad because I really enjoy it.
Definitely, and it makes me sad because, you know, clearly the children have a great educator here with you, Donna, and they have a great time. and things. So that would be very sad if that was the case. So, so in sum up of our conversation about AI, is there any last minute tips or ideas or anything that you want to share with
I just
educators?
think if everything's working out for you the way it is, then that is great. Don't change it if you don't want to, but you can always use it to help you. There's always a little thing that maybe you can't work out the answer to, it's in the back of your mind and you're trying really hard, it's not coming, you just need that help, just try.
So give it a go. And Donna, I would like to say a very big thank you for allowing me to come into your service and to sit here and interview you about your experiences with AI. So thank you for sharing your story. And yeah,
Thank you very much for coming. I really enjoyed our chat.
It was great too. And I've enjoyed seeing your service. It's nice to put a place and an experience on, when I hear your name now, I'm going to say, I've been there, I know exactly what's going on. Thank you, Donna.